and welcome to the Red Corner Show. I am Dr. Shamila Ramjawan, a global award-winning entrepreneur, published author, educator, founder of the Princess D Menstrual Cup, the Red Corner Show, and the Olympus International Awards South Africa. It is a pleasure to be your host as we bring you inspiring conversations with remarkable individuals making a meaningful impact in South Africa and beyond. This August, we celebrate Women's Month and South African Women's Day on the 9th of August. We celebrate women who are breaking barriers, leading with purpose, and inspiring future generations. Throughout the month, I will be interviewing visionary women from diverse industries, sharing their journeys of resilience, leadership, and success to inspire and empower viewers everywhere. Let's welcome my guest in this special Women's Month series, Dr. Eseza Nambassi. Dr. Nambassi is a medical doctor, health and wellness advocate, and founder of Simply Healthier. With a medical career spanning more than 4 decades, she has dedicated her life to improving the health of communities across Africa. After witnessing the devastating impact of HIV in countries including Uganda, Kenya, Zambia, and South Africa, she developed a passion for shifting the focus from treating illness to promoting lifelong health and wellness. Today, Dr. Nambassi empowers women and families through education on optimal nutrition, toxin-free living, and personal responsibility for health. Through Simply Healthier, she continues to inspire others to make informed lifestyle choices that lead to healthier, happier lives. Dr. Nambassi, welcome to the Red Corner Show. Thank you for joining me today. It is a privilege to have you with us, and we are celebrating inspirational women this special month.
Thank you. Thank you for inviting me. And I just want to thank my dear friend, Dr. Kumari, for nominating me to be on your show. I feel so privileged to talk to you, and I understand you're all the way across the world in Cambodia.
Yes, it is quite a distance away. It takes me an entire day from South Africa to get to Southeast Asia.
Oh, wow.
And the time difference is 5 hours. So we're just after 7 p.m. right now.
Okay, so you had your dinner round about lunchtime. It's just gone after 2 here. Yeah.
Dr. Nambassi, please tell our viewers about yourself and what inspired your journey into medicine.
Okay, my story is actually quite different. I did not choose medicine. Medicine was chosen for me. So I ended up going into medicine out of obedience. I did try not to. I tried to rebel. Let me put it that way, because that's what it is. Because everybody was saying, no, we need doctors. We need you to do medicine. My parents also said, well, they tried to get me to do what I wanted to do, but it was a bit complicated. Maybe I should tell part of my story. Should I do that?
Yes, please.
Okay. I was born in a country called Uganda. And when we were about 10 years old, there was a regime change, and we got a military government that took over. And I managed to stay, we all carried on with our lives, but then life changed quite dramatically. For me, when I was in my matric year, that was in 1974, when things became really untenable. So we ended up leaving the country, going into exile, in other words. But here I am in my matric year, and I have to start at a new school. I had to start at a new school, a new curriculum, new friends in the neighboring country of Kenya. But I settled down and worked hard and completed my equivalent of matric for South Africa, but it's what we call O-level, and did very well. And then went back to the same school for my A-levels. And because I did the sciences, they said, you are material for medicine. or something related. And I was saying no. And they said, then what do you want to do? Because you must understand I'm talking about the 1970s, right? It isn't just recently.
Yes.
And so I had seen right from my childhood, and I had this vision that if everybody knew how to look after their bodies and their environment, the world would be so healthy. So as long as everybody knew how to eat properly and keep the environment free of toxins. And
Mhm.
so that's what I wanted to do, actually. I wanted to get into research on human nutrition ultimately, but obviously to start with simple things, not so simple, but the sciences of biochemistry and physiology.
Mhm.
And that's what I told them. That's what I want to do. And so, at that stage, I could have chosen any one of five British universities. They all gave me entrance. And here I am sitting with the invitations to go to the UK, but I couldn't because our politics, our economics were such that it was very difficult to get the funding. So with and not so happy, but obedient, I went off to medical school back in Uganda, and I made it a mission to say, okay, I'm going to prove to myself through everything I learn here that we need to get back to the basics of good nutrition and avoiding toxins. And I did. I really went through a journey, and I know our creator guided me and made it possible for me to come out the other end successfully. And then I made a decision because while I was at medical school, um, that's when HIV came to the fore in the world. That was around about 1982, 1983. We started seeing very, very sick people. And so one day, there was one particular woman who was so sick. And I said to myself and my friend and I said, okay, let's adopt this woman and let's feed her and see what happens. Because obviously, hospital food was not providing everything that she needed. So we just supplied her with the nutrition, and we saw literally what other people would call a miracle. But I thought to myself, hey, food works. Food is medicine. Food actually, as Hippocrates said, make food thy medicine. So that put me um, in that space of saying, this is what I want to do. And eventually I focused on HIV. And so for many, many years, and then as governments and economies change, we left. This time I left not with my parents, but with my husband. And then we lived a bit in Zambia. And then ultimately we came down to South Africa.
Wow.
Yeah. I'm born in a family. I had three siblings. Right now I'm the eldest because my older brother actually succumbed to HIV, and that's why I became even super passionate. That was before ARVs were rolled out worldwide. That was in the 90s. So my passion really runs deep.
Yes, I
Yeah.
can tell. Yes. Thank you so much for sharing your journey with us, Dr. Nambassi. It's wonderful to hear how your passion for medicine began and how it's evolved over the years. And also,
Mhm.
just the beginning of your medical career, you say you lost your brother to HIV. How did these experiences shape your perspective on healthcare and the importance of prevention?
Well, um, from that story of that woman that we adopted, and then ultimately what I have been seeing and observing, I tried my level best to get people not to depend too much on medication because if you know, I see it as pointless to lead a bad lifestyle and hope that you can medicate it away. It's not happening. It just cannot happen. And we need to actually understand that God gave us things for a reason. He gave us food for a reason. And He gave us, for example, whole food.
Mhm.
And that's something that I'm so distressed by, the fact that a lot of us are eating too many processed foods, ultra processed foods.
Yes.
And it's a major issue, I believe, worldwide. And that is where diseases are born. Things like diabetes, hypertension, all the stresses that we see. And then everybody is pulling their hair out about autism and attention deficit and hyperactivity disorders. But nobody really is thinking critically about, hey, what has changed? Because when we were growing up in the 70s, I was born in the 60s, right? So in the 70s and 80s, we were eating by and large reasonably uh, um, well-grown food. But now big agriculture, big commerce, big pharma have really taken center stage. And people have this mistaken opinion that, okay, I'm not feeling well now, so the problem must be that I'm lacking something called some painkiller. We need to get back to the basics, and that's that's where I'm at now. Yeah.
Thank you for sharing that. After many years in clinical practice, you made the courageous decision to transition into something else, and that is stepping away from traditional medicine and pursuing your lifelong passion for health and wellness. And you're explaining all of this when it comes to the nutrition, the food, the lifestyle, and all the changes that one needs to make. Can you share that with us? What inspired you to step away?
Okay. I think you all remember what happened at the end of 2019, 2020. Yes. Well, what happened was I was on a contract for as a research clinician. So I was running around like a spinning top, researching a project in HIV. And then my contract came to an end. And I went away. I went to East Africa and then came back. And then 2020, we saw the lockdown happen and COVID unfold.
Mhm.
And I actually made a decision at that point that I was not going to look for another job because I did not want to participate directly with what was going on. Because, you know, once you are in a job environment, you have to comply with whatever is being told to you.
Mhm.
And I felt no, in my heart of hearts, I felt no, I probably would be more useful to advise people how to strengthen their immune systems because I've been working with immune related disorders for a long, long time. And really, those that listened and took advice did so much better than those that didn't. And that was my turning point. But it was actually taking me back to what I always wanted to do.
Okay, so the
And
passion was always there.
yes, yes. And it's actually sometimes hilarious how um, a dream doesn't die. A dream doesn't die. It might, attempts might be made to kill a dream,
Mhm.
but I've just realized that one of the things that I have is tenacity, because having lived in exile, having gone through quite a few hardships, having had to start over,
Mhm.
and then still maintaining my vision that this is what I want to leave as a legacy has been so grounding for me that yeah, I'm just waiting to see it unfolds. But anyway, as we moved into South Africa, we had to settle down. I had started a family. My firstborn was born in Zambia. She's the one who has made me a granny, a grandmother of two.
Congratulations.
Um, yeah, the first one is actually turning 10, and the other one is 5. Yeah,
Wow,
six,
that's
six,
awesome.
6. Yeah. And then I had my second baby. Well, he's a big man of turning 36. And then the third one came along as well. So what I want is a legacy for that generation of health. So unfortunately, they have been captured, that younger generation, by all these fast foods and, the whole culture of fast foods and let's do this quickly and let's get onto the internet. Okay, then I'm not saying the internet is wrong, but that art of communicating with people
Mhm.
has been eroded because of all these new cultures that are useful, but are, in my opinion, actually quite divisive. They're dividing individuals. So I would like to see more families come to the realization that health is not simply the absence of disease. There's so much more to health.
Yes,
Yeah, so that's
absolutely.
my mission. Mm,
Absolutely. It reminds us that true health is about prevention and making the conscious choices every day.
yes, yes.
Doctor, through your brand, Simply Healthier, and we want to hear a little more about that. You educate women and families about optimal nutrition and reducing toxins in the home. What are some
Mm.
simple yet powerful lifestyle changes that every family can start implementing today?
Well, I've just touched on one. Just examine the diet, examine what is being purchased in the name of food,
Yes.
and actually interrogate each other. Is this food? Is this whole food? Is it grown in under the best circumstances possible? And it's startling to know that many people wouldn't know, they just don't know. Even adults today are buying things for convenience. So I'll tell them that, look, just have a conversation with each other and perhaps do it as an experiment as a family or in communities. If we were to eliminate something as processed as, let's say, all these flour products and um, sweets and sugar, how would we feel? You know, how would our health turn out? And so I've been doing that experiment on myself. And now that's how come I teach people. Because I remember the days when, yes, I was drinking way more sugar than I think was good for me. And one day I decided, but I can do without this. Yeah. So that's something that we can
Yes.
start with because once refined sugar is replaced with complex carbohydrates like your sweet potato, your butternut and pumpkins, other very good vegetables and root vegetables that are available in South Africa, like madumbe. You know what madumbe are?
Yes, I love
Madumbe
them.
yams.
Yes, and we get a lot here in Cambodia as well.
Oh, good.
Yes,
Awesome.
lots of sweet potatoes, madumbes. So you're really healthy stuff here.
Yes. That's what we need to get back to. But most of the modern children don't even know them, let alone have ever tasted them. They just are quick to eat the chips and the cakes and the crackers and all those. And then the reason I like to explain to people is that, listen, lying up ahead is not only you now, but you will have to live in your body all the way till you are an adult and beyond, until you grow old.
Mhm.
So women today, for example, are battling signs and symptoms, the symptoms of menopause. And so the medical industry has jumped on that and said that's a disease. It isn't a disease. So I've been battling to educate women that menopause will come. Whether you try to duck and dive or not, it will come. Same with the men, and that's another passion for me. I have a slogan that with healthier men, we can build a wealthier nation. And I argue that, look, you just have to look at one man in the community falling sick, let's say getting a stroke or a heart attack, and all his dependents and everybody he influences. And if he's a corporate person, all those people are affected just because of him. But the lifestyle and the stress levels are what lead to that. But then modern living is that once your blood pressure goes up a little bit, get a pill. Once your blood sugar is out of range, get it treated. So we are treating the wrong thing, right? So that's what I would emphasize to people, that let's really get down to the root causes of these things, and let's be real and frank with each other, and stop living in a life of expediency and convenience, because it's not working.
Yes. So
Yeah.
start making those changes now. These are decisions that we have to make, and changing mindsets. Thank you for those practical tips. And I'm sure many of our viewers are going to be encouraged and will start making small changes that can have a lasting impact. I hope so.
I hope so. You asked me about Simply Healthier.
Yes.
Well, as I was hunting for something to give me balance, I came out of medical school and I was quite angry with the way I had been taught, get this, treat it with that. So I became quite, I developed a phobia for chemicals. It's amazing. So we would go shopping to, for example, do something as simple as buying cleaning products, the laundry detergents. And I would spend a long time reading the labels. I wanted to see what's in here. And then I started a system of connecting a few dots, because my children, one developed eczema, the other one had quite severe hay fever. They were bouncing all over the place. They were irritable. And I thought to myself, what if it is something I am bringing into the house from the supermarket,
Yes.
washing their clothes in it, and it's irritating them? What if it is that? Now, my colleague said, look, doc, what don't you know? Don't you know you're supposed to give an antihistamine? You're supposed to give, this cream and that cream and the other cream. I said, no, I will not do it. I'm going to hunt until I find um, the offending thing, and also change my cleaning products. So fortunately, um, the creator heard me asking for different cleaning products, because I was quite specific. I said, please show me different cleaning products. And so somebody came with products made by the company that was the first to go green on planet Earth. They are a wellness company. So I said, yes, I will change everything in my house. I'll go for those cleaning products and observe. And indeed, that's what I did. But they also have nutrition. And again, it is the leading whole food nutrition company. Everything is out of real human food. So I said, everything ticks the boxes that I've been looking for. I'll get
All the
started,
goodness
because,
you require.
yes, to supplement with. So that's how I started Simply Healthier, because, yeah, I was saying to myself, but being healthy is not complicated if you know. So that's why I emphasize on educating and encouraging people.
So just talking about if you know, how can people distinguish between evidence-based advice and health myths that circulates on social media?
Yeah, there's a lot out there, right? There's so much. And I guess one has to learn from experience. That's one long way. But the other way is to really get to be told about reputable people. I'll tell you, for example, I was impressed by this company because of the fact that they do have a scientific advisory board. They have scientists that research and develop. So I said, okay, let me learn a little bit more about these scientists. And the founder of the board actually was one of the pioneers in developing oral cancer treatment. And I thought to myself, he must be brilliant. But he decided to move right away from that industry of treating cancers
Mhm.
after they've happened to saying that, if you take away toxic chemicals and you nourish your body, you can prevent that cancer that we are so busy trying to treat. So he moved from that industry to head up the scientific advisory board. And that just sold me. So it's that kind of information that has to be shared.
Yes,
And maybe that is now my mission. I'm looking for as many women and their families as I can get, because once you can influence the decision maker, who does the cooking, who does the cleaning, I
yes,
think then we can get healthier communities all around.
for sure.
Yeah.
I totally agree with you. And it's such valuable advice. In today's world, it's important to seek credible information and make those informed decisions about our health.
Mm,
Doctor, sticking
absolutely.
to Women's Month, so women's health
Yeah.
is often the foundation of a healthy family. What message would you like to share with women about prioritizing their own well-being without feeling guilty?
Okay, it's good that you asked me when I just got back from a retreat. That's where I met Dr. Kumari. It was
Okay.
a women's retreat.
Yes.
Women just came together away from their usual environments in a different place. I think it's very important. I really jump at such opportunities. And if I can't go away, just taking some me time, saying, okay, I'm going to be quiet, listen to
Self-care.
some music,
Yes.
self-care, yes. Have a facial or just read a good book or even call some women friends and let's have a chat
And just reflect.
and
Yes.
reflect and pray for each other if one needs to unload. That is so, so important. So I totally believe that, and that came from the fact, from my observation over my decades in hospitals. The hospital queues were by and large women seeking to be heard. Okay. And they would come and you'd ask yourself, what is the deeper diagnosis here? I often ask that question. Okay, she's presenting this way, but what is the true diagnosis? So I used to spend quite a lot of time just chatting with them and really drawing them out. And they would, even if I didn't prescribe anything after they finished, they would be feeling much better. As opposed to men who only get to hospital when there is an emergency, they're having their heart attack or a stroke or an accident or whatever. So those observations made me think that yes, let us also share with our men folk the importance of self-care.
Yes.
And it's an uphill battle, but it's happening now. I
It
believe
is.
it's
It is.
happening.
I do see a gradual shift, which is great. We just have to
Mhm.
persevere and carry on and encourage and influence others. Exactly what you're doing on the chat now.
Yes,
So I love your
yes.
message. And, women so often put everyone else first. And your words are a wonderful reminder that taking care of ourselves is not selfish, it's essential.
It is essential. It is.
Doctor,
Mm.
thank you so much for sharing all your insights on the show. Looking back on your remarkable journey, what has been your greatest achievement and what lessons have shaped the woman you are today?
Oh, wow. I can't pinpoint just one achievement, but I have so many people that I have influenced And I'm glad. I'm glad that I have left a legacy, or I am in the process of leaving a legacy. I call it a legacy of health and wealth. Now, wealth isn't just money in the bank, right? It's the number of friends, the number of experiences, the number of places that you have been to. So that's the kind of legacy I'm building right now. And if I can just speak to one woman every day and say, well done, you are on the right track, and encourage them, or can I show you a way that will turn around your current situation, be it sickness, be it fatigue, be it sick children? Can I show you a way? And then we have those conversations. I think for me, that is more work done to my satisfaction than sitting in a hospital, seeing somebody for 5 minutes and writing a script and disposing of them, dispatching them and say, go to the pharmacy. Because people are wanting to be heard. And lockdown actually showed me when we had to keep quiet and cover our faces that let's get back to the beginning. Let's reset.
Let's reset. And it makes me go back to the time when I started the Red Corner Show, and that was during COVID, confined to your space, your house, and you couldn't get out. And I'm a person that loves talking to people. I'm an extrovert. And I just felt so isolated. And that is when I started the Red Corner Show. It was during COVID, because I needed to speak to the outside world. And here I am talking to inspirational women like yourself. Dr. Nambassi, thank you so much for coming on the Red Corner Show. You are leaving a legacy behind. Thank you for sharing all your insights and your tips. And I'm sure our viewers and audience are going to take lots and lots of little nuggets from what you shared today.
Awesome. Thank you for having me. I look forward to more of whatever will come out of this. I look forward to listening to other interviews as well.
Thank you. Do you want to end with any last message or messages to our audience?
Yes, maybe 3 little nuggets.
Sure.
To be healthy, make sure that you are eliminating toxins from your environment as much as possible. Make sure you're nourishing yourself as much as possible. Make sure your diet, your rest and relaxation time. Make sure you're exercising. That helps with the detoxing as well as stress management, that me time or that time of relaxation and self-care. And then if you are looking for good supplements, they're there. I can advise you on that. So nutrition is my passion. And then what I pointed out, for a healthier nation, we need to make sure that men are healthy as well. With healthier men, we will have a wealthier nation. So sometimes we women can think it's all about us and then we ignore the other gender, but we need to be all inclusive.
Yes.
Thank you.
For sure. Thank you so much, Doctor. Do you want to share your contact details? How can one get hold of you?
I think the best way would be to go to www.simplyhealthier.co.za. Otherwise, I do have a Facebook page. I recently was encouraged to start a TikTok just so that I could get out there. And what I enjoy doing is my YouTubing. I have a YouTube, but it's really educational for my team. I'm going to change that as time goes on. It's going to morph. But yeah, I'm on YouTube as well.
Perfect. Thank you so much, Doctor, for sharing. To everyone watching, thank you for joining us on the Red Corner Show. Throughout Women's Month, we will continue celebrating visionary women whose stories remind us that determination, courage, and purpose can change lives. Please like, share, and subscribe to the Red Corner Show social media platforms, and join us again for another inspiring conversation coming soon. If you would like to be on the show, please do drop me an email, redcornershow@gmail.com. Until next time, I am Dr. Shamila Ramjawan. Keep believing in yourself, keep empowering others, and continue making a positive difference in the world. Goodbye and God bless to you all. Bye, Dr. Nambassi.
Thank you. Bye-bye.